got homework for science.
Yes,
I don't. I don't know where I put it.
N squared minus 4n.
4n. What the 2 plus right? Negative 5n minus n.
Is this?
That's the next one.
What did you get?
Science folder and.
I think my dog.
Did you check my homework?
I know it is. Did you submit it?
I don't think so.
Cause she really started doing it.
I don't know. I send it like every other time. So I don't like, because I can never find the stupid assignment. It takes me like 5 hours.
It's on.
I got 21 L squared minus this.
Look, every day.
You got East.
No, like through camp scan.
All you gotta do is click that. Oh,
Camp scan.
well, it ain't that hard. Okay. Alright, what do you got for an answer for this first one? Joe?
C.
Okay, good. C is correct. Now remember. Hey, listen up. You gotta know when to multiply and when to add or subtract. If there's a sign in between the parentheses, that tells you whether you're subtracting or adding. And remember when we subtract, you got 8x squared minus 7x, that becomes a plus. And then you switch the sign, so it's minus 3x squared minus 4x. And then you combine like terms, so 8x squared minus 3x squared, 5x squared, negative 7x plus negative 4, it's minus 11x. So that would be C for that one. Okay, now I wanted you to do this one here. It says multiply 8x minus 5 squared. All right, see what you get? Just gotta do the homework for yesterday. Pardon? I mean, it's.
I did. I did. Oh, we did, but yeah, I did. And as we do program, you need to practice that. You're gonna review it.
So you do the 8 times negative. Yeah, and then you do 8 times negative 5. Yeah, negative 4. And then you do 8 times negative 5 again, which is also negative 4. And negative 5 times negative 5.
So it's.
The answer's not enough.
Sam,
Sam, what'd you get? E. Wait, hold on.
Hey, yo,
Is this plus 25?
Is it 25 minus 6?
What?
I just said minus 8.
Sam, what'd you get? Wait, what'd you say?
No, it's multiplying.
You said
A negative.
What is he?
well, that's correct.
Why did it? Alright, because you have to multiply the other ones too, don't you? Like a negative 5 times 8. Right, because look, exactly. Mine's minus 1. Wait. But then that would be a negative 21. Why should it be negative 21? Oh, it's also negative 25. Yeah, it's E. Yeah. I didn't either.
I have some.
Does anyone take Spanish too?
Yeah.
Alright, Connor, what's your answer here? Connor, what's your
I
answer?
got E.
E, that is correct.
I knew it. I looked at B and I'm like, that's correct, but then I realized it's a negative.
I just want to say.
No, I
Okay. Alright, you do have to FOIL here, quantity squared, biggest thing, I didn't want you to put, usually the biggest mistake is you'll put A. B is an option, but like you said, that is a negative 25, 8x times 8x. 64x squared, 8x times negative 5 minus 40x. Negative 5 times 8x is minus 40x. And negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. When you combine those together, it'll give you a plus 80, excuse me, no, it won't. It'll give you a plus 25 on the end. So the answer would be E. Okay, it's not given to you. Okay, we'll go over the homework answers here in 1 second. Here's going to be the format of the exam. 40 multiple choice questions. 3 points each, and then 10 short answer questions, which are 4 points each. It will total 160. Now, when I input the grade, I will input out 100. I'll just put in your percent. So what I mean by that is if you miss 20 points and you get 140 out of 160, okay, I would just do 140 divided by 160, and that's 87.5. Okay, so you will see that written as 87%. Okay. So it'll look like it's out of 100 points in the grade book, but it'll be your percent. Okay, it'll be your percent for that. All right, on the answers, all right, what you should do, here's what I would suggest you do, is the ones you'd missed, I would circle them on the review sheet. Okay, so that you kind of have an idea which ones you might need to go back to.
Did you check one?
Not yet.
Put it in a pocket like right here.
I gotta go check a few of yours here. But take a look at those answers and kind of check those.
Remember you put it there.
Josh.
Oh, we have.
Next to you is on purpose. Ben.
I do have to say. And I still really
We'll look on here when we come to Christian.
I was thinking.
There's the 114 and then there's 4.
Okay. Okay. Got everything. Oh, you moved it down? Thanks.
Let's go.
What's wrong, Christian?
I'm in.
You all right? I'm not gonna name any names, but one person did
He
all.
sent a picture of the boat. I was like, oh, my God, that sounds.
Okay. That's I didn't.
So I'm sure
You said
he
50.
was very helpful.
Over to you. Practice. All right, here's your last few here.
They just left.
Wait,
Hey,
look
for-
for a second.
Here's
I've seen
your-
11. I've seen 11 and 12.
So number 11, negative 45y to the 7 plus 27y to the 8. 12, FOIL, you get n squared minus 6n plus 5. 13, we did one like this in class. This is that fish where you do 5x times everything and negative 3 times everything. 5x cubed minus 28x squared
I haven't missed one yet.
plus 25x minus 6. All right, 14, you've got a variable in both parts. This is a FOIL problem. 4w times 4w is 16w squared. 4w times 6y is 24wy. It doesn't matter the order, whether you put wy or yw. And then at the end, you get 36y squared. These two can still be added, so you get 48 or wy there. 15 is a FOIL, but you get the two opposite terms in the middle, which add up to 0. So you should get 16x squared minus 9. And now 16, those say factor. And in the few of them that I saw some, this is probably the biggest mistakes here. Some of you just wrote x minus 5. You got to put the GCF in front. So this is 3x cubed times x minus 5. Or some of you just put the GCF as the answer. You got to put 9y squared times y to the 4th plus 3. Jalen?
So for number 15, I got 16 plus negative 9 or minus 9. I didn't put the 2.
The x squared?
Yeah.
All right, well, you got to have that because you're taking 4x times 4x.
Oh, and the x and x is 2.
Yeah. And now 18 is grouping. This should be your answer in the end. X plus 1 times 3x squared minus 7. Or they could be reversed. It doesn't matter the order. For that, that's fine. Like I said, I would circle what you missed. Okay? So that way you kind of have an idea. Maybe you put that on your note card. Connor, did I get you a note card yesterday?
No.
No, I got one back there, Mr. Schler. They can, second cabinet, second door. Nope, oh, there's the other side. Nope, keep going to right there. That with the run of the, you gotta have some muscles. Should do something down there. Okay. All right, so that's 1 through 18. Okay. All right, go to those guided notes if you would, please, for day 2. Connor, you can write anything on both front and back. Formulas, whatever. Okay. I'd have your note card handy. I give you one. If you lose it, then you are responsible for another one.
Oh, I lost it. Actually.
You didn't get guided notes? Did you?
We have post venture.
I know that's a thing.
All right, hey, I need everybody's attention here now. You need to kind of settle down, be quiet. All right, so for number 1, now direction's important. Factor. That means write it as a multiplication problem. All right, this is a difference of squares here. It doesn't have that middle term. This is a case where you need to come up with 2 binomials that will FOIL together. And the only time this will work is if you have the exact same thing, except one's a plus and one's a minus. This only happens when you have 2 terms and you have a minus sign. Remember, this is a difference. It's a difference of squares. Number 2 is also a difference of squares. Take a look at it, see if you can figure out it's gonna be the same two things. One should be a plus, one should be a minus. Evan?
Y squared plus 7 and y squared minus 7.
Yeah, but what about the first part? What about the 9?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay,
You can't separate the 49 and the y.
Christian?
Would be three
But it's got to multiply back.
Plus 7y squared. And then 3 minus 7y squared.
Okay, take a look. Same two things. Now do the 3 and 3 multiply 9. Yeah, that's the easy one. And then 7 times 7 is 49, and then y squared times y squared does give you y and 40. So that is correct. So when you got two terms and you got that minus sign, then this is what you're looking for, difference of squares for those. Now, we spent a lot of time on these next two. You're definitely going to see a few problems on the exam. Factor, this still goes under the directions factor. A squared minus 5a minus 14. Hold on. This is one when you got a trinomial and there's no number in front of the a squared. You want to find out what multiplies to equal negative 14 and at the same time adds together to get negative 5. Now, everybody was doing a really good job when we were doing these, but it's been a little while. Colin?
Positive 2 and negative 7.
Is positive 2 and negative 7. That would be correct. So you just put a plus 2 and then a minus 7. And that's all you got to do if there's no number in front. Now, you can change the order. It is absolutely fine. A minus 7 times a plus 2. Doesn't matter, but the minus needs to go with the 7 and the plus needs to go with the 2. Let me just, I know it's not on there, but what if I give you x squared plus 9x plus 18. So just take a second, see if you can figure that one out. 9x squared, or x squared plus 9x plus 18. Two numbers that multiply to get 18, add to get 9. Jordan?
X plus 6 and x plus 3.
Good. X plus 6. X plus 3. So that would work. Now that next one there, things change when you put the number in front of the x squared. All right, we went through a little bit different procedure. All right, Zach, you might have done guess and check.
No, I multiplied the 2 by the 12.
Okay, now the procedure we did is if there's a number in front, you got to take 2 times negative 12, which is negative 24. And now, Zach, what do I look for here?
Numbers that can multiply to negative 24 and add to get positive 5.
Okay, I want numbers that multiply to equal negative 24 and at the same time add to equal 5. All right, everybody take a second. See if you can figure out those two numbers. If you got them, just hold on.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So what if we do a guess and check? How would we do that?
And then your first exponent, or your first term has to be a 2x, and then the next one has to be an x. Okay.
I put it in.
Okay. Now, we'll line together, well, you got it written on that equal this, because 8 times 1 is that. Okay, so the way, that's not your answer when we're doing this. I'll show you what you got to do on here. So I would pick, all right, oh, you gotta wait, Morgan. All right, what are those two numbers? What are those two numbers that multiply, Joe? 8 and negative 3. So, and I'm gonna just switch the order and put the negative 3 first. All right, here's what you gotta watch. Your answer is not x minus 3 times x plus 8. That is not your answer. Your answer is not 2x minus 3x plus 8. The actual 3 and the 8 won't show up. Well, they could. Yeah, so remember, this is what we did from this point here, and this is a good one for your note card. This is where we replace the 5x with those two numbers, and we rewrite it as 2x squared minus 3x plus 8x minus 12. And then we do factor by grouping, which is why grouping is so important, because it helps us solve these problems. You forget that step and you end up blowing the whole thing up. Now take a look. GCF of the first pair is just an x. And so that becomes x times. Second one is a 4, and if whatever that sign is, you want to attach it to that, so it's a plus 4. 8x divided by 4 is 2x. Negative 12 divided by 4 is minus 3. And so you should get the same pair, and that's important. And now the same pair, now when I factor it, or pull out that pair, you get 2x minus 3 times x plus 4. The final check is if you can FOIL that back together and get the original, you're good. You know you've got it. And that's where you got to watch it. You just can't take the negative 3 and 8. That only works when there's no number in front of that a squared or x squared. Okay. So I'd say this is a good one to go through on that note card. Okay. Okay, now this one, it goes through a lot. Then like I said, this also has some good things for your note cards. It says find the axis of symmetry, find the y-intercept, and find the vertex, and we're going to graph the function. So there's a lot going on for this parabola. Formula for axis of symmetry. And this, I would definitely write this down. So the axis of symmetry is the formula x equals negative b over 2a. Negative b over 2a. Now, I'm just going to show you what we're looking for. Don't write any of the rest of this down. So we want to graph the axis of symmetry is what cuts it in half. So I don't know where it's at, but it could be here. The vertex has to be on the axis of symmetry. There's a y-intercept, and then we can connect and make a parabola. So this is what we need. This is what, in the end, this is what we need. So we got to understand that. So axis of symmetry. Do you remember what the A, B, and C are? Let's see. Do you remember what A, B, and C are? Jordan.
Isn't A the number in front of the X?
Okay, so what would it be in this case?
1.
Good. So A would be 1. B would be, what would B be?
Positive 4.
Ah,
Okay. Negative 3.
Yeah.
okay.
He's jumping ahead.
All right. Well, you're right. When I plug it in, it'll become a positive 4, but for other purposes, you might have to put in a negative 4. And then what would be C, even though I don't use it yet?
Negative 2.
C is negative 2. All right, so Jordan's right. We do the opposite of B, so the opposite of negative 4 becomes 4. And then 2 times 1. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. And you got to write this as x equals 2. Go over to your graph, put in a vertical dotted line at x equals 2. Okay, you got that vertical dotted line. All right, vertex. Anybody remember what we do now? Find the vertex. The vertex is a point.
Did you plug the axis of symmetry in?
Yes, you plug the axis of symmetry into the equation. So where it says axis of symmetry for you, you need to put x equals 2. Then to find the vertex, we'll go back to the y-intercept. The vertex you take x equals 2 and you plug it in for into the equation wherever there's an x. And what does that simplify to? -6. 4 minus 8 is -4 minus 2 is -6. Okay, where it says vertex, be very clear and put down the ordered pair to -6. Okay, so you got 2 -6 right here. Y-intercept. Y-intercept, if you remember, it's the easiest one of them all, but it could be the hardest if you've forgotten how to find it. What is our y-intercept, Christian? You know it?
-2.
Yeah, it is that C value right there. Whatever the C value is your y-intercept, and it's an ordered pair, 0, -2. Now to get the other 2 points, we can do a chart, and they have to be on the same side as the y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept is on the left side. So what 2 x values do I plug in to the equation to figure out my other 2 points? Okay, what, Evan? 1 I agree with. Not 3, because 3 is on the other side of the axis of symmetry. They both got to be on the left. So you got 1.
0 or -1.
We're going to go to -1. We don't use 0 because that shows up as the y-intercept. So we never use 0 in this case. So you got to plug in 1 and -1. All right, so plug in 1. So you got y equals 1 squared minus 4 times 1 minus 2. Figure out what that is. Morgan, you got it?
Yeah.
What you got?
Oh wait, no, not the answer.
Got the answer? Oh,
Didn't put it in.
what are you waiting on?
I'm
You waiting on Jay Lee back there?
Yeah.
Jay Lee, what do you got?
for 1 I got -5.
Got -5. I'm gonna agree with that. So you got -5. So that would be 1, -5. Now we gotta plug in -1 as well. Colin?
3.
He says 3. Let's double check it. Y equals, and you gotta put in -1 in parentheses here. And let's see here, that's 1 plus 4 is 5 minus 2. Yes, it looks like 3. And so you got that point -1, 3. Remember, anything on the left-hand side, that means there's a point on the right-hand side. So we do the mirror point. So we go over to the other side. And then whoops, I missed that one. So we go up through here. All right, so you got your parabola. Make sure you put some arrows in it to carry it past there as well. All right, I want to save those other parts for tomorrow just because it's going to be a little bit easier. I don't want to overload you today, and I want to give you some time in class. So we're going to go through here. Your assignment is 19 through 32. Again, this is double assignment. Yeah, Jalen, 19 through 32. That's it. Don't go any further. But redo the one you got. Okay, look, you can look them over, you take the right, it's fine, but you gotta look them over. Jordan, we'll have you start in.
Jordan decided to take a Jordan, you gotta take a test. That's unfortunate.
What?
It was.
That's the best.